Hello, Divine Ones. Welcome back. Thank you for stopping by, spending a little time with the real me. We're kicking March 1 off with the next sharing in our Tarot in Real Life series. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing the 12 houses in astrology. This episode might seem a little detached from the flow of the series because I'm not going to discuss tarot in this episode. But later, we will connect the dots with how, the tarot card readings incorporate houses. And then the next episode, I'm going to discuss the planets that live in the houses and the astrological signs. But again, these are just very high-level general discussions or explanations because if we were going to discuss all the different configurations of houses and planets and astrological signs, we'd be here forever because there's an endless possibility of interpretation or configurations. So that's not what we're going to do. So let's dive into the 12 houses in astrology. So what are houses in a birth chart? So the houses in your natal birth chart are determined based on a wheel. The wheel represents the sky at the exact moment that you were born. Earth is at the center, and the horizontal line that goes through it indicates the horizon. The sky is then divided up into 12 different sections, and these are the houses. You can dive deeper to interpret your birth chart by looking at the house that a particular sign or astrological sign is in. So to analyze your birth chart, you first pick a planet, figure out what sign it's in, then dive deeper by looking at the house that it lives in, as well as its relationship to other planets in the chart. From there, you will find endless dimensions to explore. If you want to know more about what the planets in your chart are trying to tell you, learning about the houses is a perfect place to start. The first house is the beginning of your chart and will always be on the left side, just below that horizontal line dividing the top and the bottom. This house represents the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth. The zodiac sign that's connected to your first house is the one that was emerging from below the horizon and rising into the sky right when you entered the world. For example, if the eastern horizon was in the sign of Leo at your exact time and place of birth, your first house will be located in Leo. From there, your chart progresses counterclockwise with houses 1 through 6 in the bottom half of the wheel because this part of the sky was below Earth's horizon when you were born, and houses 7 through 12 in the top half. Houses below the horizon tend to be more personal and introspective, while houses above the horizon are more integrative and collective. Exactly how the houses align with the zodiac signs in your personal chart is entirely dependent on where and when you were born. Therefore, to get an accurate birth chart reading, you must know your location and time of birth. The way the houses then align in your chart creates the blueprint of your soul. Interpreting the 12 houses and their meanings in astrology. So each one of the 12 houses represents a different area of your life. By looking at the house each planet is in, you can see which domain will be the focus of that planet's energy. So for example, the 7th house signifies relationships, whereas the 10th house colors your career. So while you and a friend may have been born with the same sun sign, the sun is probably in different houses and will show up differently in your lives. If your sun sign is in the 7th house, you may tend to identify with your relationships, whereas a friend with a sun in the 10th house may be more identified by their job. If certain parts of your life are more challenging for you, then this might be that you have a planet activating a certain house and trying to teach you a lesson there. Or you could have a house with multiple planets in it, which makes its themes extra potent in your life. If you don't have any planets in a house, it doesn't mean that that house isn't relevant for you. It might just infer that the focus is elsewhere. So now we'll talk about each of the 12 houses and interpreting the meanings of each of the 12 houses. So the first house is, learning. I just want to touch on learning about the houses in your birth chart and the planets that they're in will help you make better sense of your life because of the areas that are calling your attention, right? So we'll start with the first house of personality and self. To understand who you are and how you come across to others, you'll take a look at your first house. This is the house that's related to you, your self-identity, your personality, your physical appearance, and the first impressions that you make on people. The complete birth chart will delve into who you are on every level. The first house of self is a general representation of what makes you, you. By looking at the zodiac sign associated with your first house or any planetary action going on there, you can see how your spirit and mood may be affected or what kind of energy you're giving off. The second house of money and values. It's all about the Benjamins here. If you're curious where your approach to money comes from, take a look at your second house. This section of your birth chart explains your relationship to finances and spending habits. Studying any planets in your second house of money can make you aware of the financial patterns that are either helping or hurting you. What's more, the second house holds messages about your self-esteem, the things you desire, and the value you place on yourself. I just want to point out that the second house, that's where you can learn about your self-confidence. Third house of communication and information is about people, places, and noises in your immediate environment, which have a huge impact on you. This very mental part of your birth chart highlights the way you think and communicate. It also relates to nearby places and your relationship with siblings and neighbors. Understanding your third house of communication will shed a light on how you interact with others, how effective you are at communicating, and where you are mentally at any given moment. The fourth house of home and family. You can learn a lot about your relationship to your family, residence, and sense of security by looking at your fourth house. This area of your birth chart will give you a better understanding of your emotions, childhood, ancestral roots, maternal influences, comfort, and living arrangements. Your fourth house can explain everything from why you decorated your home a certain way to why you seek comfort from a particular person, place, or thing. The fifth house of pleasure and creativity is all about pleasure, romance, and fun. Studying what's happening in your fifth house of creativity will make you more aware of how you show love, how you express yourself, and your ability to take risks. This house also relates to children and your relationship to them. Understanding what's going on in your fifth house can help you get your ideas across more effectively, become a better lover, and live with a lighter, happier heart. The sixth house of work and health will move you through the motions of your day. Your patterns and routines are influenced by your sixth house. This section of your birth chart is all about your daily life, including your job, health habits, and acts of service. By looking at what was or is currently happening in your 6th house, you can stay on top of changes in the workplace or health concerns that you should be paying attention to. Learning more about this area of your life will help you take proper care of your physical and mental health for a lifetime. The 7th house of relationships and agreements in your birth chart has a lot to teach you about your relationships with others. This includes all kinds of one-on-one partnerships, but is perhaps most importantly about your romantic ones. The 7th house encompasses your approach to long-term relationships and how you maintain them. Tracking what is happening in this house can not only show you where your reservations about love come from or why you find certain people attractive, but can also make you aware of big changes coming to your love life, so you can be prepared. The 8th house of intimacy and transformation is where we explore subconscious fears, desires, and memories. From physical and emotional intimacy to resources like time and money, the things you share with other people are represented by the 8th house. Wrapping your head around this portion of your birth chart will help explain how you get close to others and what you are willing to sacrifice for the sake of deeper connections. It can also clue you in to periods when you may benefit from sharing resources with someone. I guess that could be interpreted to mean when you should be in a relationship with someone. The 9th house of expansion and worldview. This is all about your journey in life. This house is all about the things that expand your mind and your life, like faraway travel, higher education, and philosophy. If you're eager to learn about a variety of subjects and interested in exploring other cultures or religions, then you likely have some serious activity going on in your 9th house of worldview. When you understand what's happening here, you can take advantage of important opportunities to find meaning or purpose in your life. The 10th house of career and reputation is all about setting attainable goals or learning about, are you willing to what are you willing to sacrifice for success? What do you want to be when you grow up? You'll find the answers to these questions in your 10th house, where you'll be learning about your 10th house of reputation, helping you understand your relationship to power and authority, how important your career is to you, and the methods you use to accomplish your goals. By staying on top of the planetary activity in your 10th house, you can move more easily through shakeups in your professional life and capitalize on energies that can help you climb higher. The 11th house of community and hopes. So the friends and groups of people that you flock toward are represented by your 11th house. This area is about the people who think like you do, who support you, and who will join forces with your aspirations. Some of us are looking for our soul tribe. I don't know if you've heard that comment, but it's about finding like-minded people, people who you can vibe with. These are your allies. Your 11th house helps to define the nature of these relationships so you can be sure you are aligning with people who can bring the most joy, inspiration, and progress to your life. And finally, the 12th house of dreams and the unconscious. To escape reality, you would swim through the 12th house. This is a complex and mystical section of your birth chart that sheds a light on your spiritual life, your connections to the cosmos, and your dreams. While these traits and concepts can be challenging to grasp, it's important to study the astrology associated with your 12th house of the unconscious. By healing the unprocessed pain that comes up in this area, you can find compassion for yourself and others and live a much more fulfilling life, both physically and spiritually. And so there was a very quick and dirty rundown. No, it was quick and clean, but we got through a general explanation of what the 12 houses mean on your birth chart, how they relate to your life, and who you are as a being. And that is all I have